Alright, here's how it goes. Shibuya, that big scrambled crosswalk. Dead of night, meet Or. First thing you notice, he's stuffed into a ridiculous dog mascot suit. He's standing out there freezing his tail off, waiting for his online e-girl crush, Mo-chan. He's been hyping this meetup for ages, but here's the twist. She's been stringing him along the entire time. While she's busy flexing online, Ore is left standing out in the cold. But heartbreak isn't what kills him. Not even close. Out of nowhere, a massive macaron delivery truck plows straight into him. His mascot head goes, flying blood everywhere. Absolutely brutal. But the universe still isn't done with him. Right as he's bleeding, lying out on the asphalt, a literal flaming meteor comes screaming down from the sky straight onto his head. Talk about the worst RNG in human history. He gets completely vaporized. Instantly, Or snaps awake, just floating. He's in some wild, neon-lit cosmic void. He's completely baffled. Wait, am I dead? Then, some random stranger floats into view. A dude in a sharp suit, hovering there like it's totally normal. He casually drops that this is his second time getting reincarnated. Weird flex, but okay. But before Or can even process any of it, what's happening? He gets yanked into this trippy, high-speed space tube. The most unhinged cosmic roller coaster you've ever seen, shooting him through the galaxy at light speed toward his final judgment. He drops right into something completely bizarre. Think of it like a boardroom meeting, except every executive at the table is a straight-up mythological weirdo, no joke. A giant Zeus lookalike, a Buddha type, and an Egyptian rabbit god. That sharp-suited guy from earlier, acting as the host, and they were running a full-on literal lottery to decide what everyone reincarnates as. They're literally rolling a cosmic gacha, ball for some random guy, and boom, the guy pulls disgusting, gooey slime. Actual slime Or is absolutely sweating bullets. When Ori's number finally comes up, the gods immediately clock something is wrong, way off. He gets flagged as an irregular soul type, outside every known category. Before they can even figure out what to do with him, the floor just opens up and Or drops screaming down a trapdoor into pure nothing after, surviving an absolutely wild freefall through giant golden coins and a pastel collar gacha. World, Or finally lands in a spotless white throne room. He's greeted by this bizarre little round bird thing before finally locking eyes with her, the goddess Shess, tiny with pale blue hair and eyes that look like they've personally witnessed every bad decision ever made. She doesn't waste a second, hits him with the cold, hard truth. This is where his fate gets decided. Or, doing his best to play off his social anxiety, instantly switches into full flirt mode, convinced he can actually rizz up a literal deity. Spoiler. Massive mistake. The goddess doesn't even blink. She just drops a full magic suppression spell on him, zapping him and shutting him up on the spot. She does not play around. So Or is stuck floating in a magic bubble, trying to hustle a literal deity and already begging for a cheat skill, some broken OP hack to make his next life in a breeze. But the goddess isn't buying any of it. She completely shuts down every bit of his grifter mindset. When the flirting crashes hard, she hits him with the ultimate reality check, dragging up a full cosmic replay of his absolutely pathetic death. Getting run over by a delivery truck, then immediately flattened by a meteor while he's standing there holding a sign for an e-girl who straight up called him a miserable loser. But hey, this divine waiting room exists to give pathetic souls like him a second shot. Reincarnation isn't the free pass though. It's the ultimate waiting game Or gets. Handed a cosmic tablet to pick his next life, and his brain immediately goes to the classic Isekai dream harem, cheat skill, hero. But the goddess drops the reality bomb immediately. This afterlife runs exactly like the worst gacha queue imaginable. The more popular the gacha class, the longer you rot in the waiting room. Want a golden armored hero? Enjoy a casual 54,000 year wait. Want to come back as the Demon Lord? That's a 27,000 year queue, even spawning as a random background. NPC in some quiet village costs 500 years. Or is completely panicking now. desperate, and desperation makes people do really stupid things. He starts swiping like a madman, hunting for any loophole that has zero wait time. He is not under any circumstances getting reincarnated as some pair of microscopic microbes, which is, terrifyingly, inactual. Finally, he spots a class with basically no Q. The catch? Zero Q. The class is listed under heroes, Ribdiculous, a literal bone inside another dude's ribcage. The goddess steps in with a warning. Only someone who is completely impatient and has zero creativity ever picks these cursed non-human slots. But Or is totally tunnel visioned on that instant respawn ticket. He locks it in, genuinely convinced. He just found a loophole the universe forgot to close. Here's the thing about a goddess warning you, she means it. The grand portal tears open, blazing with cosmic energy. As Or's capsule drifts toward it, the goddess glances over and says something almost soft, almost warm. Be careful, Or. Or's heart jumps. He thinks, finally, the cute goddess is actually being sweet to him. He clasps his hands, clasping his hands like he's finally the protagonist of something real. But this goddess doesn't do sweet. Without even blinking, she blasts his entire capsule with high voltage divine lightning and absolutely fries him, then hurls his screaming body straight through the portal. So much for a peaceful send-off. The dumbest reincarnation yet. A fish. It barely gets going. Boom, Or gets blasted into the portal like a cosmic cannonball. You think this is where his big isekai adventure finally kicks off, right? It doesn't. Less than 10 seconds later, he comes hurtling back, straight back through the portal, screaming his lungs out, and he faceplants hard onto the divine floor. The goddess isn't even phased, or is already complaining that he didn't get his happy ending because the hero completely ignored him. He was just a rib after all. That's literally his whole argument. The goddess fires up the cosmic DVR to show him exactly how his so-called glorious life actually went down. Welcome to the replay. Meet the hero of this story. He's enormous, decked out in golden armor, riding a unicorn, and absolutely full of himself. He casually flexes on a terrifying, multi-eyed demon lord, slicing it clean in half. One strike Or is literally just chilling as a glow. Wing rib tucked inside this guy's chiseled chest. But here's where it goes sideways. Instead of saving the world and staying loyal, the hero starts collecting a massive harem of monster girls, more princesses, and goddesses. Meanwhile, his original, devoted, red-haired companion gets left holding the bag, literally stuck carrying his apples and sobbing in the shadows. He just tosses her aside. You can feel the resentment building. This isn't a hero's tale anymore. It's a train wreck waiting to happen. The ultimate betrayal is already brewing, and the hero is too wrapped up in his own ego to notice the knife aimed right at his back. Hell hath no fury, like a waifu scorned. Hero's distracted, and his neglected original girl finally snaps. She drives a dagger straight into his chest and somehow misses the heart completely. She hits the 11th right rib instead. Yeah, that's Or, all right? The rib pops free, blazing with kids, absolutely insane energy, and reshapes into a perfect clone of the hero. It's basically a twisted Adam and Eve story, except instead of a garden, you've got two absolutely jacked dudes fighting their way to the original hero and a clone collide. Blades ringing out in a high-speed, earth-shattering duel, sparks everywhere, magic surging, and it's a complete deadlock. But the original hero isn't going down without a fight. He charges up a massive, blinding energy beam and fires it at the clone point. Blank. The beam literally vaporizes the clone's chest, leaving nothing but a single charred rib drifting in the wind. The clone is completely annihilated back in the divine room. Or and the goddess are watching this tragic ending unfold on screen. The surviving hero is front and center, delivering this ridiculously long, arrogant monologue about claiming all the rib's power. Oge is just sitting there annoyed, absolutely roasting the hero's terrible pacing and his painfully generic villain speech. What a massive fail. The legend of the hero gets wild from here though. Turns out, the hero didn't just die. His power shattered into 24 pieces, specifically his ribs. 23 of those bone fragments became fled out. Legends. Laser beams, water dragon rides, dropping, cosmic hammers, and somehow even building massive clone armies like some kind of supernatural MLM scheme. Some found true love. Others just kicked off magical explosions that tore the sky wide open. But what about our boy Ore? He got his reincarnation too, as the 24th fragment and his epic destiny, being a literal toothpick. No, seriously, while the other ribs were out there saving the world, Ore was stuck in the mouth of some feral beast girl heroine, just wedged in there like a scrap of leftover jerky. And Ore, the calm little goddess, is sitting there watching this whole embarrassing broadcast, and honestly, it's a total cringe fest. But hey, glory fades fast, because all those overpowered rib legends out there flexing on demon lords, they all eventually shattered. One by one, the heroes fell, ground down to nothing but cracked, useless bones. The other heroes got mourned properly fancy graves, dramatic anime tears, the whole ceremony. Or, though none of that, no glorious end, not even close, after getting casually tossed aside by the beast girl. A sweet-looking, farming heroine stumbled across him lying there. Finally, some respect. Not even slightly. She grabbed him and chucked him straight into a wood chipper. Magical fertilizer for her cabbages. Ground down into bone dust. That's an automatic game over. And honestly, the disrespect is just staggering. Bam Ore snaps right back into the goddess. Shiny lobby. The wild part? He didn't feel a thing, not one bit of pain from being turned into plant food. The goddess, looking as unbothered as ever, explains he can just keep respawning indefinitely, clean and perfect every time. To prove it, she casually blasts him with a massive pink laser. Just like that, he regenerates instantly, good as new. And as a consolation prize for how badly his existence keeps going, gift. The goddess hands him a parting souvenir, the broken, curved fragment of his own 11th rib. She tells him to just chuck it in the trash, but Ore, being the sentimental, socially awkward disaster he is, decides to keep it. He uses it to massage his back. It's pathetic, honestly, but hey, you work with what you've got. At this point, Ore is completely done. He tells the goddess he's throwing in the towel, but she's not letting him off the home. Hooked that easily. She whips out a reincarnation lottery box. But wait, isn't that just the snack box she was munching from 5 minutes ago? The bird mascot on it looks absolutely terrified, and Ore is highly suspicious. But whatever, he pulls the lever anyway, desperately hoping for a decent class this time around. A blue gacha ball pops out. The grand reveal. He's reincarnating as a hermit crab. Yep, from a chewed up rib to a crustacean. You genuinely cannot make this stuff up. Ever wonder who Ore even was? Was before the whole reincarnated as a rib disaster. He wasn't some hero, just a regular guy grinding odd jobs, handing out flyers, directing traffic, barely keeping his head above water. But he had one absolutely unhinged obsession finding the perfect goddess. And he didn't stop at hoarding anime merch and sinking hours into dating sims. He went full Indiana Jones. We're talking crossing continents, joining an actual archaeological dig out in the blazing desert just to unearth some massive ancient deity statue. And after all that sweating and suffering under the sun, he just felt hollow, wrong god. Back in the respawn lobby, the goddess calmly sips her tea and dissects his whole fake adventurer act in one sentence. Adventurer backstory. Ore folds immediately, admitting he was basically just a hardcore gamer who lived and breathed dating sims. Trying to salvage the situation, he pivots to rating the goddess, gives her a solid 96, and then generously bumps it up to 98. Is she flattered? Not even slightly. just a flat, dead-eyed stare. Then she drops the threat hit 100 and she'll have him taxidermied and mounted on her wall as interior decor. The bird mascot is full-on spiraling or is absolutely drenched in sweat. We went from a dating sim to survival horror bet ending in about 2 seconds flat. Better roll the gacha before he becomes a living room centerpiece. The blue gacha drop lands. Hermit crab, a literal crustacean. The goddess calmly informs him there's an actual waitlist to be a crab. Some monsters have been queuing 600 years for this exact slot. To skip that line, she slapped a premium buff on his life to fast-track him, or gets yeeted straight into the reincarnation portal, except the goddess suddenly realizes she's still holding that souvenir broken rib. She casually chucks it into the portal. Right behind him, boom! Massive space explosion. And the next second, Aura's back in the respawn lobby. The wild part, he actually lived a whole life this time he ranked up, beat a tyrant boss, and clawed his way to Mafia Crab King, right up until the universe randomly decided to screw him over. Squashed. Let's run the instant replay on that life. Or survives the brutal ocean floor and gets picked up by a legendary, absolute unit of a hero named Raidsun Baru. Here's where the goddess's premium buff kicks in, or transforms into the hero's strongest weapon. We're talking blazing, earth-shattering, mountain-cleaving power. This hero is erasing landscape, like he's on a speed run. But once the dust settles, the hero glances at his shoulder and gets slapped with a massive, existential crisis. Why is my ultimate legendary weapon a hermit crab? He desperately tries to toss Aura away, but plot twist, the buff made him a cursed item. He literally cannot drop it, or is stuck to him permanently. And honestly, the disrespect is peak comedy. To keep his cursed item safe, the hero just writes his name on Aura's shell and yeetus deletes him straight into the ocean. Aura isn't complaining though. Down at the ocean floor, he runs into a gorgeous pink-haired sea goddess, and in true dating sim fashion, he somehow wins her over completely and promptly converts her sacred temple into a neon-lit love hotel. The lobby goddess is absolutely furious. This was supposed to be a serious epic quest, but the honeymoon doesn't last long. A colossal shadow monster called Leviathan shows up, decides to crush the hotel, and slices off Ori's right claw clean off. Just when things look bleak, our crab boy gets miraculously rescued by a sunbathing catfish master named Benazaki, who is immediately determined to get revenge. Or kicks off a hardcore training montage under Catfish Master Benazaki and grinds until he masters a ridiculously long-named ultimate technique, the Purgatory. Roaring Flame Thunderclap, under World Kick. With that new power, Or tracks down Leviathan and completely decapitates the giant beast with a single snap of his claw. He heads back to his sea goddess, fully ready for his happy ending. Plot twist though, the second she lovingly wraps around him, she instantly coughs up blood and drops dead. Why? Because the goddess's premium buff had made Or a hero-exclusive weapon. Anyone else who tries to equip him takes a fatal curse straight to the face. Nothing says tragic romance quite like one powered by pure rage. Or goes full Super Saiyan crab and hunts down the hero. The hero unloads a dramatic punch, but Or casually catches it with his claw. The lobby guard hilariously chimes in to point out that scissors beats rock. After they finally bury the hatchet, the hero admits they have to take down the underworld ruler, a terrifying three-headed dragon. The epic battle. The battle starts. Hero's first move chuck Or directly at the boss, but the hero instantly dies to a random flock of minion birds. Absolute legend, that guy. Left alone, Or finally lets loose his fully charged Purgatory Roaring Flame Thunderclap Underworld Kick, detonating a massive nuclear explosion that vaporizes the dragon whole and rips the landscape apart. Wiped. You'd think vaporizing a demon lord would make Or some kind of global icon, right? Nope, society flatly refused to recognize a hermit crab as a hero, so Ori just lived out his days and died of old age. Back in the respawn lobby, the goddess is absolutely seething. that Ori managed to scrape together a semi-happy ending. He tries to smooth things over and hands her a can of Benazaki Salmon Big. Mistake? And her affection meter instantly maxes out to 100. She whips out a cosmic knife and boom! She actually gives Or the full taxidermy treatment. Bat and Or is now just a crab head. But since he won't stop looking, she catches him peeking up her skirt and shoves a box straight over his crab head. Earned it. Game over. The goddess is just chilling, back on her throne, casually working through that cursed canned salmon like none of this is even slightly interesting. She decides it's time for the next round of suffering. She seals Or stuffed crab and all inside a mysterious wide box. But surprise, Or is built different. He rips straight through the paper seal. Full-on creepy horror movie energy. Pops out like a jump scare villain and genuinely startles her. Not having any of it, she instantly blasts him to oblivion with a massive pink laser bam. Respawn Or is finally back in his glorious, original human body. He's so relieved the taxidermy nightmare is over that he actually begs her to crush him flat just to make it official. Hard reset. One brutal, cartoonish squish later, and our boy is fully human again. Thanking his lucky stars, now that he's comfortable, the goddess doesn't waste a single second. She drops the absolute wildest, most disrespectful reincarnation class yet. Yet specifically, the right door of the demon. King's Castle. Wait, excuse me. A door. Before Or can even start processing this architectural madness, he gets yanked into the portal through the exact same recycled animation from earlier, the one he literally already called out. And yes, he actually reincarnates as a heavy iron-studded wooden door complete with a gargoyle knocker, fully immobilized, stuck in a dark dungeon with zero options. That deeply weird life wraps up fast though. And Or snaps right back in the gleaming lobby, somehow even more bored than before. Bored and apparently hungry now too, he pulls on sheer willpower and magic to summon a full kitchen setup out of nothing, ties on an apron, and actually starts cooking. He plates up a proper bowl of curry and rice while they settle in to watch the instant replay of his time as a door. While Or is casually working through his curry, the goddess cues up the instant replay of his door life. They watch in genuine disbelief as his past door self quietly racks up a serious body count. The Demon Lord's elite generals are trying to push their way through to the throne room. First up, some cocky green guard. The gargoyle tries to muscle the door open and gets instantly smashed, straight into oblivion. Then the real heavy hitter shows up. The undefeated, never-beaten General Gorenza, a mountain of muscle who hurls blazing fireballs like it's nothing. A demon who openly brags about solo clearing entire armies. This absolute unit just charges straight at the door, both axes swinging in pure, unhinged rage. And what does the door do? Slams shut so hard it's basically a public execution. Gorenza implodes into a glowing purple puddle of pixels. One by one, the most terrifying, bloodthirsty commanders the Demon Lord has line up and try to force their way through. Every single one of them gets wiped, mercilessly flattened by a literal piece of wood, and Or is just sitting in the lobby, happily gnawing on a scrap of wood, casually eating lunch while watching his past life door form single-handedly dismantle the Demon King's entire high command. Honestly, that is some seriously overpowered home security back in the gleaming respawn lobby. Or has completely checked out of his own broadcast. Apparently, he's gone full master chef mode, aggressively stirring a pot of curry on stream. And right there mid-cook, he casually drops a massive lore bomb. How did the Demon King never notice his elite general getting completely flattened by a piece of furniture? Plot twist, it was the co-worker. Turns out the left door was also a sentient being, running a passive buff that wiped any suspicion off the board. So whenever Or and the left door got into one of their genuinely unhinged screaming matches, literally just yelling "shut up" back and forth, the Demon King decided that was mysterious inner voices. Thanks to this completely absurd cover-up, the boss stayed totally in the dark while Or quietly dismantled the entire demonic high command. He keeps going, narrating his full life as a door. Then the legendary hero finally shows up at the throne room, kicking in the door sword first like he owns the place. Hero dumps everything into his ultimate attack and gets a massive wall for his trouble. The Demon King is genuinely built different, sitting on an overpowered skill called Infinite Growth. Every time he takes a hit, he instantly regenerates and comes back even stronger. So the hero's attacks are doing literally nothing. And if that wasn't bad enough, the tryhard left. Door decides to jump in, winding up its gargoyle mouth and charging this massive magical laser from behind, putting the world's only savior directly in the crosshairs. The hero is one hit away from total defeat. It looks completely over, but then the stupidest miracle in history happens. The tryhard left door chokes. It fires its big, dramatic magical laser straight at the hero, and the hero just sidesteps it. The blast sails right past him and smacks the Demon King dead on. Instant kill. Yeah, the left door just accidentally murdered his own boss. With the actual threat gone, the plot immediately goes off the rails. Instead of celebrating, the heroines completely lose it. Why? Because they got it wrong. They think the right door was the one who fired the laser and tried to kill their hero. Every ounce of rage gets aimed straight at him, screaming at the top of their lungs. What is wrong with you, you damn door? The heroines have completely lost it. Or tries to defend himself, yelling that they're just crowding the exit, but they are not buying it. This kicks off the most absurd final battle in anime history. Furious heroines throwing actual hands at a piece of enchanted wood. The brawl gets so chaotic that they literally demolish the entire Demon King's castle in the process. Every last stone of it. With the fortress in ruins, Or loses his structural integrity and gets completely wiped out. Just another beautifully tragic. Game over. Hey, quick thing before you go. I checked my analytics and over 99 of you watching aren't actually subscribed. If you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button. It's free and you can always change your mind. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.